And yes, for this special panel of beautiful women, I have a little bit of a homage that I would like to play for you guys. This is something that I made when I was thinking about women like yourselves. Type of girl. I know your type. You're the type that flies, and everything is good inside your world. I know your type. Electrify the skies, and everybody wants to be that girl. You're just the type to leave the class with grace and style. Girl, you got swag. They never took the time to really see you. Girl, you know you play against the rules. But when you fall in, everyone wins. Everyone wins. You're that type of girl. Are you that type of girl? You're that type of girl. Are you that type of girl? Let me say yes. Yes. Where my ladies at? Can I get y'all to say yes? That was a song I did for y'all. Where you at, Crystal? Where you at, Imendisa?
Yes, yes, yes.
Where you at, Deja Vu?
Hey,
Yes. Oh, my
that's a
ladies
great
say
song. I love that song.
yes. You ought to love it. It's about you. And women like yourself. You guys say hello to the people.
Hey,
People.
You know what? It's getting ready to be a lot of goddess energy in here, a lot of women power, beautiful, moving this nation along type of thing that's getting ready to happen. But you know what? Just before we do that, let me, because, a man is around somewhere, you know what I mean? He had to be around to do the heavy lifting, we had to bring him in here. So, you know what? I want to, my husband, he actually have been the first one to introduce me to Irish whiskey and Scotch. So he's a cigar smoker and he likes to drink whiskey. So he has these special whiskeys that he likes to drink. And I'm always saying, okay, let me taste it because it looks so good the way he's like drinking it. So he started introducing me to these whiskeys that is good for someone that's not a whiskey drinker, but, wants to try something. So the first one that he introduced to me is...
All right, so this first one here is Green Spot. Green Spot is a, excuse me, as she's beautifully modeling, is an Irish whiskey. So it's not a Scotch, and it's not a bourbon or some of the other things that a lot of people are used to hearing or used to thinking whiskey is. So there's a bunch of different whiskeys, but this one particularly is an Irish whiskey, and then it's a single pot still Irish whiskey. So long story short, it's made in Ireland and it's a single pot still distilled.
And it's easy on my throat and I can drink it and not be like, "Ugh." So anyway, that's what I'll be having today while we're going through this spiritual evolution. I'll be drinking Green Spots. Can you pour that for me, baby? What up, Imendisa?
Hey, life in the cosmos. That's what's always up.
I know that's what's going on with you. I would feel remiss if I don't give the people just a little bit about you before we get into the magic of what is Imendisa. But I do want to say that Imendisa Sabira is a 21st century Renaissance woman. She is an actor, an activist, a producer, a choreographer, educator, and alchemist. She is the executive director of the pronounce it for me, Kiamsha Temple of Awakening, a spiritual-based activist artist network, host of the E. Mandisa Effect podcast, and the president of Drummond Twins Entertainment. I just wanted to give them a little bit about, who they're in the presence of or who they're getting ready to be in the presence of. Imandisa, welcome.
Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Salud. So, did you have another spiritual prayer thing, uplifting thing that you did today before you came on our show?
Well, yes, I had a gathering of my spiritual warriors and light workers.
Oh,
Because we truly believe in whenever two or more are gathered in my name.
right.
So we had me out here in Seattle, my co-host in New York, and then we had the Midwest. So we kind of had the energy covered because our perspective is spiritual and scientific. That
Okay.
everything is. So since we're dealing with an energy, we need to raise the frequency of our energy and our vibration to transform the energies that are currently circulating around the planet. So
That's right.
we just kind of talked about how we were all feeling, and we just put a prayer out there for everyone. And it was really a nice little get together.
Oh, wow. That sounds great. I hope that we can do some of that here. We need to keep it going. I'm in total agreement that, we need to all meet and agree. I think somebody had a meeting and we wasn't in on it, but it's more us than it is them. The only reason why it seems like they outpower us right now is because they're awake and aware. And this is how they're choosing to use their knowledge. Well, us with that same knowledge, and we all are working for the good of humanity, then we should choose that as well. So I definitely agree with your work and what you're doing. But I always have, when I met you, you were a full-fledged activist, not in past tense like you were. But when I met you, you were a full-fledged activist, man. We were in Seattle marching, and you had us marching through the streets and going to town hall meetings. And because even back then, what was that, 2000, like 1999 and 2000, they were already, the police were already killing a lot of, our youth, our children. They were already, that was harsh. I did start out with that, but yeah, that's what was going on back even then. And you were a leader of the troop, if you will. You were just on the ground doing the work. And when I met you, you were already a warrior out here fighting. How'd you get?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because I feel like that was a part of my initiation. When you first learn the truth, you get very angry, and you kind of follow the roles of what's been already placed before us, which was the marching and the activism and all of that. What I found out was that most of the people that were doing this work were more toxic than the people that we were trying to help.
Wow.
Because when you want to save the world and you don't want to first start with yourself, and you're having conflicts within the group of people that are trying to do the work, and want to do the time for the self-reflection. That's really when I started kind of backing away from a lot of the, more outspoken activism, and really started more on the spiritual grounding and art.
Okay.
Because any movement in history has been accompanied by an artistic renaissance.
Okay.
And unfortunately, one of the reasons why we haven't been able to get the people together and organized is because, like, you should know, most of your friends that are making the good music, they're not playing it on the radio.
Right.
That music to uplift us, inspire us, and encourage us, and to challenge us, and to question us, those songs aren't out in the mainstream. So that's why I started my Activist Artist Network, to where I support artists that use their platform and use their creativity to awaken and teach and heal and do things of that nature, because it really does, it has to start, it's not a cliche. It really does have to start with the self. I don't think people recognize how much your thoughts and emotions contribute to the world that we're creating together.
That's true. Very true, because everything is energy, like we said.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try not to hog you all to myself. I have tons of questions, But the time is getting away from us, so I'm going to open it up in a minute to at least our panelists to ask you questions. But the one thing I do want to ask you before I pass you along and pass you off to the masses, at what point, like, what day, what moment in your life, I'm not even going to say day because time is irrelevant. What moment in your life, what was that moment when you woke up and you realized that your calling was higher than physical and earthly things? When you woke up and said, wow, I'm a guide, I'm a spiritual guide, or I'm a healer, or I can tap into other worlds. What was that moment of reckoning for you?
Well, I think it was a series of very interesting moments. I would say that my first venture into awakening, because I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
I was raised in a Native American family. So
oh, wow.
I already had the spiritual grounding, but the Catholicism, the two of them were married. When I myself got married and I ran into financial problems, I don't have one of those, Eckhart Tolle stories or whatever.
Yeah.
I literally was broke and wanted to learn and wanted to win the lottery.
Mm.
So I went to the public library to check out a book about numerology, and I happened to find a book by Linda Goodman, which had the codes of the universe in them. And there happened to be when you get on your path, you have these coincidences where you run into people that, give you more information to get down your path. And so he said, hey, if you're into this, go to this metaphysical bookstore. And this is in 1990. So I'm like, what is a metaphysical bookstore? And I went there and I started checking out books from Edgar Cayce, a book called Esoteric Mind Power.
Wow.
So I just started studying. This was in 1990. I actually didn't have my awakening until my best friend committed suicide.
Oh.
And then I had to completely question my place in the universe and what it meant. So that's, I believe, when the universe took my hand and said, I left college and I moved to LA, and I just said, okay, Creator, you take over. I obviously don't know what I'm doing. And then after that, by a series of weird coincidences, I became the spiritual advisor of an international youth movement, and had to deal with people like Jesse Jackson, Minister Farrakhan, to get thrust into international leadership, just being a naive college kid.
Yeah.
And having the responsibility of the spiritual well-being of thousands of people, I feel was dress rehearsal for where I am now, because I made a lot of mistakes and I wasn't very mature. And you were one of the people that was there, when I was coming into learning energy healing and not really knowing what I was dealing with.
Yes. But it didn't stop the energy from moving. I know you're kind of alluding to when you were doing Reiki on me. And even as a result of that, I went and got attuned myself. My niece, she went and got attuned. I wanted to use it for healing. And when I did the study and I said, oh, wow, they said this is what Jesus was doing. He was laying hands. And, so the story goes that everything that he did, we can do and even more. And so I'm like, well, I want to lay hands and I want to walk on water. So if I can heal using my hands with a positive energy, I want that as well. So yeah, when you did that Reiki on me, back in the 90s, it's whether you knew what was going on or not, the energy was still moving. I can still feel it. I know you remember I started pulsating off the ground, like, and so and that's one thing I learned too, that no matter whether there's a believer or non-believer, it is what it is. Energy works, energy heals, it's all energy. So if you can learn to manipulate it in a positive way, to focus on the positivity in another being and use that to cause them to heal themselves, I think that's absolutely perfect.
And that's why I call myself an alchemist, because I like to get the woo-woo, you scare people because if you're too spiritual or whatever. So I like to bring the science into it. And right now, the science is verifying what spirituality has been trying to tell people forever.
Yes.
Everything moves from the unmanifest to the manifest.
Yes.
So if we work in the unmanifest, in the unseen.
Yes.
Like right now, we're all looking at a computer screen,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not stopping to think about what was the thought in somebody's mind
Yes.
that said, okay, this fit, this color,
Yes.
So I attempt to bring people back to that, and we call it the process of deconstruction evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You deconstruct and then you evolve, because you basically have to recreate yourself from
That's
this
right.
world that created you in its image,
That's right.
right?
That's right. I agree. Well, again, like I said, I'm not going to hog you. I want to I want to hear from our other panelists, Dr. Chris and Deja Vu. Dr. Chris, do you have a question for Imandisa?
Well, I guess the first question I have is, unlike a doctor, do you have to have this calling, or do you learn it?
I can't really hear you. What did you say?
So, like a doctor, I have to study. I have to, say, hey, this is the profession I want to do. As far as being a spiritual healer, is this something that you just kind of like, whoa, and you just became a spiritual healer, or can anybody be taught or learn how to be a spiritual healer?
Well, in the Bible it says, physician, heal thyself. And anybody that has a personal relationship with themselves can absolutely heal themselves. But it's something at this point that you actually need to be educated on. You can have the gift, but the gift is a real responsibility. One of the things that a brother and I work on here, his name is Keprapata, we work a lot on spiritual integrity, because there's so many people out there that do Reiki healing and they're not clear themselves. Energy is very, very, very potent. And so if you're working on clients, there's an ability for you to transfer your stuff onto them. And so there's a lot of irresponsible Reiki healers out there. So that's why it's very important if you have the gift. And I would say that if you have people that are constantly telling you their problems, or you're the person that they seek out to, and strangers just come up to you and just start telling you their whole life story, you're an automatic healer. And so there is a natural gift, but once you discover that natural gift, get trained, because it's very important for you to be responsible.
That's right.
And know that it's energy. Energy doesn't die, it just transforms.
It just transforms.
So a lot of these Reiki healers are going in and they're working on their clients. The clients feel great. Well, where did the energy go?
That's right.
Is it following somebody down the street?
Hmm.
Did it attach itself onto the Reiki healer? Where did the energy go?
Yes.
And so I always say that if you are going to get any type of energy work done, that you should also have a spiritual advisor. Because what's happening is, okay, if you have pushed down a bunch of...
Oh, are we losing her? Oh.
Hold on 1 second, honey. Oh.
Wait a second, Imandisa. Let's try to get you back on here.
issue. Right?
Okay. Okay.
And if the Reiki healer...
Can you hear me, Imandisa?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. We got you back now. We lost you for a second. Can you start right when you said, where does the energy go? And then you said, so therefore you have to be trained. And you were getting down with it.
Yeah, you have to be trained, because at the end of the day, that energy has to go someplace.
Right.
And it will return to your energy center if you don't consciously deal with this. So Reiki healer is taking stuff from your subconscious mind and your traumas and saying, okay, I'm bringing this energy now into your consciousness, which means you're going to get a call from your ex-boyfriend, which means there might be some drama from your dad, which means you might not be able to pay your bills. It's going to bring up these challenges for you to face. And if you don't also have some type of counselor to talk to, when you go through an energy healing, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
And the Reiki that doesn't tell you this is doing you a disservice.
Okay.
So go.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to take you out because your noise in the background. You either mute it. You have to mute the sound or something, TA. Sorry about that, you guys. We got people trying to get in everywhere. We got people trying to get in from Instagram, Facebook, Blog Talk Radio. I told you guys this is going to be a hot show. Thank you, Imendisa, for answering that question for us. Deja, can you just chime in with the spiritual goddess for a second? I know you guys got a lot in common. So do you have any questions that you want to ask of her?
I don't have any questions, just more so I agree and I'm familiar with everything she's saying, and it makes a lot of sense. It's what I discovered when I first became awake, if you will. And I just agree with everything she's saying, and I'm just a validation for her. So I don't have any questions. I agree. And it sounds familiar, and it's nice to hear from other people. So that's so close too. So yeah.
Well, I want to switch gears for just a quick second. We're still all in this together. All three of us, or all four of us. It's four of us, right? Yeah, all four of us. We're still all in this together. But I want to ask Dr. Chris about some medical remedies that we're finding.
There's a reason why there's an initiation that you need to go through. There's a reason why you go through these different levels, because like I'm Native American, and you can't just become a medicine man in my tribe because you went through class. You really have to walk the path, and it's a path, you know. And I hope more people realize that it's a path.
Right. That's kind of why I asked. I didn't want people to think like, oh, you know what? Today I'm going to be a spiritual healer. All this stuff is going on, the coronavirus, and you know what? Today I'm going to be able to put my hands on people and voila.
Right.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, Crystal and Imendisa. I'm sorry. Just take them off. Just take them off. Just X them out. I'm sorry, you guys. I agree with what you're saying, Crystal and Imendisa. However, I don't want to discourage people. I believe that we all have gifts. We all have the same gifts, actually. It's just some of us has gotten to the point where we are able to be receptive and allow our gifts, and we're starting to believe in ourselves. In other words, believe inside ourselves. I know it sounds cliche-ish to, just believe in yourself. But you really have to understand what that means, because if you subscribe to the fact that God is inside you and God is everything, God is source, then why wouldn't it make sense that you have all the same tools, power, and information available to you if you just go inside yourself? So I want to encourage people that the time is now. The time is for you to tap into those gifts, listen to yourself, meditate, spend some time with yourself, because this evolution happens one person at a time, one being at a time. And as you were saying earlier, Imendisa, until you get yourself together, you can't offer the world or the universe anything else but what you have inside of you. And if you have toxicity inside of you, then that's what you have to offer the world and the universe. So I encourage everyone to tap into their spiritual gifts. I encourage everyone to get healthy mentally and spiritually. I encourage everyone to, if your grandma came to visit you and she's passed away, but you don't really believe that was her you was talking to, and you let everybody tell you that wasn't really her that you was talking to, no, believe in yourself. Believe that grandma came to see her baby. So while I agree with we can't be irresponsible with these gifts, the time is now to hone these gifts with, like you said, some training, a spiritual guide. But what I found is nothing like God, baby. It's nothing like connecting with Source and letting Source teach you. And what it really is Source reminding you of who you are. That's what remember is all about. Becoming a member of your higher self again. Remembering yourself.
I agree. The only thing that I would add on to that is just know what you're getting yourself into. I guess,
that's right.
I don't want to discourage people from honing their gifts or whatever.
Yes.
But when you start tapping into your gifts, if you're not around a community of people that understand these types of things, it's going to be very hard for you, and you're going to be ostracized from your family when you start saying things like, I see dead people. Things of that nature. Or I'm going to go sit on Mount Rainier and see if I could talk to the ETs, or, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that I had a bunch of rich weird Hollywood people invite me out to Hollywood for the first energy healing session that I ever went to.
Uh-huh.
And I witnessed some really strange things. And they didn't tell me what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went home and I practiced it on my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I practiced it on one lady. And at that time, I guess what had happened was with my gift start awakening, I could just feel the energy. I couldn't see what it was or discern it. And I did a healing on her, and I could feel all this really, really, really dark energy around her. And she started describing it herself. And she said, I'm seeing some man, and I'm seeing a horse-driven buggy, and he's ex-husband or something. He's really mad at me. He doesn't want me to leave him. And he's like, it looks like the 15th century or something like that. Now, in this class, they had told us that some of the energies that get stuck in your body most.
Again, Imandisa, if you can see me or hear me, we're waiting for you to come back in. We lost you again. That's okay. Technical difficulties. It's a lot of energy today, baby. This goddess energy is up in here, man. We blowing things up around here. So, is she back?
Am I back?
Okay, we got you. Go ahead.
Okay. But I just want to say that about a month after I did the healing on this chick, the guy that she met him.
Uh-huh.
She met him. He manifested in the present time, and it turned her world upside down.
Wow.
And while they were making love, he described the room that we were in.
Uh-huh.
He described me, and he said to her, "Why did you make me leave?"
Right, right.
That freaked me out. So I just want to tell people, just when you go down that rabbit hole, because you will go down a rabbit, just be prepared. Don't make it discourage you, but know that you're gonna experience some very interesting things that are going to make
just
you
a second.
question your perception of reality.
Right. Okay, so you guys, first of all, I do want to tell you guys we're on Drip the Mic Network. The call-in number is 646-378-0355. Press 1 to raise your hand to be heard. So you have any questions, anything you want to say, anything to add to the conversation, and any prayers that you want to send out, any love, life, and light that you want to send out. Love, life, and light only. No negative. We ain't going nowhere. We're here. We're just charged with dealing with our shit. So at the end of the day, y'all, we all in this together. Start individually and then come together collectively. Connect. That's what I keep hearing. So if you want to send love and light, if you have a question you want to ask of any of the panelists, and if you want to just add on, that call-in number is 646-378-0355. Press 1 to raise your hand to be heard. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope, chat it up with us. We're taking your comments and we're also taking your questions. We're going to try to get as many in as we can as we move this along. Again, Drip the Mic Network 2020 Vision, baby, and it's going down. Deja, before I open up the call lines, I wanted to talk about some of your natural remedies that you use, and not even just for the crises that we are in right now. I don't want to call it a crisis. I try not to even mention it because the more you mention it, the more you make this thing real. So this healing, I'm gonna call it this healing that this world is going through, because it's universal, baby. It's not just in our country or not just in China or all these other silly ass rumors. It's our universe that is a little bit, in trouble right now. It's up to us to move this thing along. So what are your natural remedies that you're using? And then we're going to go back and ask Dr. Chris too, what are some of the things that she's healing? That she's hearing. What are the things that you're doing, Deja?
Things that I'm doing on a lifestyle basis, not just the food, but one of my things that I promote for sure is definitely doing yoga.
Okay.
Because it's a form of movement meditation.
Yes.
and it's a form of teaching you how to use the breath and learning how to breathe.
Okay.
It's super important, especially when people panic. And people don't realize how important it is. But if you stick to yoga and let it teach you how to understand it, you'll know, like when you have panic attacks and when things get a little crazy, you won't panic as hard and you'll be able to breathe, and it makes a difference. So I'm going to say deep breathe in yoga. On the thought part of it, I want to say just realizing, like you had said earlier in the show, is realize how far you've come and that you're still here. So remembering where you came from, all that you've accomplished, and allowing that thought and that knowing to keep you sane. And also what you think and feel gives power, and it's a vibration, so it goes out into the universe. So basically controlling, but allowing to let yourself be human, but controlling your thoughts in a positive way, but allowing you to be human to experience the negative part of it.
Okay.
But not let it take control. And then the last part, which is the food, would be, I use a lot of ginger, and this is for your lymphatic system and your blood flow and circulation. It's a lot of ginger, spicy foods, cayenne pepper. I just made a drink with some cactus, some aloe vera, some ginger, some habanero, some lemon, and some lime. And you take shots through that. You take shots of that throughout the day. You can feel it in your heart, your brain, and everything. Just keeping hydrated. So cucumbers, melons, drinking your food works. So if you have a juicer, drink all your food, or at least get one drink in you. And it helps with basically digesting it easily and getting straight to your blood system. So I would say just basically eating a lot of fruits and vegetables in the form of a smoothie or a juice, or getting some garlic and some ginger, some cayenne pepper, and boiling it and making a tea. And those are just things you can do to boost your immune system. Quick-wise, detoxing is a whole thing. Self-care when it comes to eating and things is a long conversation. But those are some things you can do to boost your energy and boost your immune system so you can fight off any disease that's coming to you. Like when I leave the house so far, I've been coming back, make sure I do juices if I have to go to the grocery store. Besides just the sanitizing and all the, the normal stuff that's obvious to do. So I'm not sure if that answered their questions. So hopefully that did.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. We just had a special guest enter the building. It's another Love and Light bringer, producer, writer, spoken word artist, dream maker, Grammy maker. Just came in and joined us. It's a special surprise for us today. Malik Youssef just walked in the door, and he wants to add on to this Love and Light conversation.
Yeah, blessings, man. How y'all doing, man? I want to say this, like, the power of the mind is not a joke, right? If you knew how powerful thoughts were, you would probably never have a negative one. So as a man thinketh, so as a woman thinketh, so is he. I am, therefore I think. I think, therefore I am. I don't feel any way that this is an uncommon happening in our world. I feel like this is apropos in the transitional aspects of humanity. I feel like there's always going to be reset buttons. There's always going to be times when you got to get up and do it all over again, where you're going to get knocked down, you're going to lose everything. I mean, it's not for everybody, but most people, that as you aspire to do something great, you're going to be met with great resistance. I'm not finna play no games about it and say that it hurts and that's okay. It's painful and that's okay. It's done damage and that's okay. Because you can repair damage. It might leave a scar, but it's still repaired. And I think that we live in a world where we sometimes have forgotten that it's supposed to be smooth sailing. And there's a Phoenician saying, calm seas do not a good sailor make. This is good for everybody involved. I know you said, what you mean good? is challenging you. Challenges are how things grow. The earth challenges the acorn. You understand me? The earth challenges the acorn. Are you going to come out of this dark place? Are you going to bust through this dark facade? Are you? This morning, when me and my son were doing push-ups, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting tired." I said, "Good." Because the people that's well rested have never done much of note in our world. It's the people that's tired, dare I say exhausted, overwhelmed, that make the moves go. We don't have anything to worry about, nothing to be afraid of. Let me tell you something. Fear weakens your immune system. Uh-oh. Fear weakens your immune system.
Wow. That's something.
Happiness and joy fortify it. Scientists all over the world tell you the power of a smile. Because it's chemical. We have evolved to smile. Guess what? We've also evolved to deal with bad news.
Yeah.
We come from a place where at any given time, you could have been a wolf sandwich. And your family got to get up and move on. It's okay. We're going to take losses. If you're going to live, you're going to lose. If there is no pain, y'all know the other part of that. I'm not trying to do poetry right now.
No gain, but
There
you
ain't
will.
going to be no gain. We step into the light, not because there is no darkness. We step into the light regardless of the darkness.
Come on.
We shine in spite of how dark it is on the inside of us. Everybody gonna have dark days. Something's gonna new be introduced to you that makes you feel bad, or makes you feel less than, or makes you feel unwanted or unloved. But that's not true. That's what you believe. Because guess what? It changed tomorrow. It'll change tomorrow. Nevada used to be an ocean. Okay, I'm saying it. Nevada used to be an ocean,
I didn't know that.
a prehistoric ocean. It changed into a desert. The Sahara used to be an ocean. It changed into a desert. You understand? This is relevant for this day and age, what we're going through. And I wish, much like Yeshua, or if you speak Latin, Jesus, or if you speak Spanish, Jesus, it is written in scriptures that he said, "Oh, if this bitter cup could be passed.
Wow.
If I didn't have to do this, but we got to do it, though. It's part of the process." I want you to go in your mind, even in this hard time, and you don't have to do it right now. But I want you to go tonight when you're in your quiet place, if you have a quiet place, try to find one for a minute. Maybe go in the bathroom when everybody else sleep. Sacrifice a little sleep. Go back in your mind and find your fondest memory of you. Maybe it was an outfit you wore. Maybe it was something you achieved. Maybe it was an award. Maybe it was a reward. Maybe you did something really good for somebody. Find the happiest moment of you. Put that at the forefront of your mind and redevelop that feeling. Redevelop that feeling. Your body, your brain, everything's going to respond to that feeling. And it's going to release chemicals. Listen to me. It's going to release chemicals that make you feel better. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's biology.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm working on a song, I dig into my innermost parts to pull out the words that make me feel good about a situation that makes me want to use a certain word. I think about the colors of it, the smells, and then I come out of all that, I distill maybe one word. And that one word sometimes becomes the difference in a song going out of the park or being a pretty cool song. I go through the process.
Dropping jewels, giving us information.
You look like a jewel right now.
Oh, thank you.
That's beautiful.
I dreamed about this all night and
That's crazy, and you manifested.
and manifested.
That is cold. I ain't gonna front. You be fresh all the time, but that right there,
You like it?
that's something special. Yeah,
Thank you. It's my favorite color too.
that red, mine too. I'm Aries.
Hey,
power.
Aries. Oh, Aries is coming. Is it Aries season yet? Or we still?
We Aries season.
Oh, Aries
21st.
season.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, as
Congratulations to all the Aries. We're moving into Aries season now. This is gonna be creative.
Sherman.
You know, a little aloof. It's gonna be a little aloof, but it's gonna be creative.
Social distancing.
Right. You guys already had that down pat. I'm just saying about the Aries. But anyway, right about now, we definitely you guys, we got Malik Yusuf in the house. This is a blessing for us to have him here with us. Such a busy person, but even the fact that you took your time out of your busy schedule to come be with us and
I'm blessed.
help
I'm honored.
help uplift us, that's great.
I'm honored.
We got Imandisa, the spiritual guide, in the house.
Mandisa.
That's our special guest today. We got Dr. Chris in the house. She's coming in from the medical field and, you know, dropping jewels with us as well. And then we got Deja Vu, the detoxification specialist and
think I know
healer
her.
herself.
I think I might follow her on Instagram.
You follow her?
I think so.
Oh, Deja. He follows
What?
you. Malik Yusuf said he follows you already.
I think I follow you on Instagram. I will after this though.
Follow me on Insta. Hey.
Right about now,
Thanks
we
for
want
the
to.
follow.
Right about now, we want to open up the lines for the callers and the chatters, 646-378-0355. Press 1 to raise your hand and be heard. Bring me some love and light. Who we got on the line right now? Gina Storm. Hey, girl. Okay. Gina Storm, we'll come back to you.
So sorry
Oh,
about
there you
the
are.
redhead. No, I'm here.
Okay.
I just, here's the thing. I stay on mute because my grandchildren are here, and my background is always not conducive for radio. So my grandson was following his mom down the stairs, and I was letting him get out of earshot before I muted myself because that's drama. But it's all love. And this is why I called in, because the vibrations are so high here.
Yes.
I had to get a piece of this.
Yes. Come on and talk to us, baby.
Amazing energy is a necessity. And people don't understand that it's not just in times when you're in a position where you're doing something you're not used to, like being quarantined. It's when your schedule is broken, because we are people who live and deal in routines. And having schedules that we adhere to daily gives us structure. And when there's any interference in said structure, it throws us off our balance. And our balance is what keeps our energy high and our vibrations positive. And we have to be able to adjust and adapt and go with the flow and trust the process and not be alarmed when there's an unexpected occurrence. And so when things like this happen, I trust the process. I don't worry.
As you should. As you should. Spoken very well. Did you want to add anything to it?
Well, and here's the thing. I'm a freestyle spoken word artist, and the reason I came on the mic is because sometimes people need a different energy, and the energy that I bring, my goal is every day to inspire someone and to be positivity personified. But I'm just going to do a really quick freestyle, and I'm titling it.
Really quick, if you will, because we have a
The
lot
light.
of people on the line, but I would love
Yes,
to hear
the
it.
light.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
The light. The light that is inside of me is emanating every day. I can't turn it off, and there'll be no delay. When I wake up in the morning, I glow. I'm so happy for my feet to touch the flow. I smile because my lungs are filling up with oxygen. And again, I am in my right mind, and I'm thankful and grateful for it. So every day that I have of life is a present for me, and I'm living in the present with every fiber of my being. If there's a light inside of you, tap into it too. And if not, then find someone around you and stand and bask in that light. Because it's the necessary energy that we need every day and night. I'm Gina Storm. Thank you for indulging me. Peace.
Woo!
Gina Storm.
Yes, Gina Storm. You blessed us today.
Thank you, ma'am. I have to. I love this.
Thank you, Gina. I don't know if you
And thank you for the light and love.
I don't know if you know just who just witnessed your piece. Mr. Malik Youssef himself, the spoken word artist, the wordsmith, is what he's known as. So if you don't know, do your homework.
I'm humbled and grateful.
Yes. Thank you, Gina.
I do.
Oops. Sorry, didn't Gina, you got cut off. We love you, baby.
No, I just
She's
wanted
here.
to say,
Okay.
I just shared because this is my gift and I'm appreciative. So thank you. And I appreciate it. I'm humble. One love, one mic.
That's right. That's right. You're listening to Drip the Mic Network 2020 Vision, baby. That call-in number is 646-378-0355. Press 1 to be heard. Raise your hand. Spread some love and light. Do we have any more questions for the panelists or Malik Youssef himself? Chime in with us. Who do we have on the line? Okay. All right. Ladies, Imandisa, Crystal,
Yes.
Deja Vu. We still in here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, we are.
We're having a wonderful, blessed time. Is there any chatters? Any questions from the chats? Oh, Tina? All right. Come on, Tina. Oh, is that my PA that's missing today?
Am I
Oh,
on?
we miss you,
Is
Tina.
This thing on? Is this thing on?
We miss you,
How
Tina.
you guys doing? You're doing a great job. I am so enjoying all your panelists today. And I have a question from one of your Facebook fans,
Okay.
Ginger. Has a
Ginger.
question for Imandiza,
Okay.
as well as the other healers, Deja Vu. She wants to know about crystals. Do you use crystals in your healing process? And she wants to know about them, how you use them if you do.
I absolutely use crystals in my healing process. For novices, I would recommend pure quartz crystal. It is the
Oh, we keep losing Imandisa. Is she paused? Okay. Deja, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you chime in on that while we get Imandisa
I
back?
think she was going to go into quartz crystals. Wait, I think she was going to go into quartz crystals. I'll let her finish that when we can get in. But I just use crystals during meditation, in the sunlight. When I do yoga, I wear them and I place my intentions and I cleanse them with sage and Palo Santo. And I use them mainly when you're meditating, and you can set the crystal to actually give you what it needs. So you're basically just using it in your prayer and putting your intentions into the crystal, and it works with you and your natural energy. Each crystal does have certain things that they do based on study, but you can also kind of manipulate it. I'm not an expert in crystals, but I do use them and I have experience with them. I've felt the energy, I felt high off of them. Euphoricness, and from my experience, when they're trying to go, it's time to go, and they'll find some place to go. But I'm gonna let her finish. I don't know if your speaker came back on or your sound.
Can you hear me?
No,
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
good. Thank you.
So yes, quartz crystal, clear quartz crystal is the most powerful healer out there. And also pink quartz is very good. It helps with the heart chakra. I'm Native American, so we use a lot of turquoise. Turquoise will help you attract friends, and it'll help you if you have some anger management and frustration issues, and actually anxiety. It'll help calm you down. We have to remember that crystals are sentient beings. They're alive. They come from the earth. A lot of us that collect crystals joke a lot, because our crystals will actually want to leave
us.
Go and be with someone else.
Yes.
So if you lose your crystals, it's because they've decided they don't want to be with you anymore and they want to be with somebody else.
Yes. Man, we were just talking about that. Like I have to
We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, like I have to get my
remember.
crystal collection back up, because all the traveling I was doing, I was collecting crystals from every country and different things that meant a lot to me. I even took some with me, and they're all gone now. I'm so sad. There's some slippery little thingies.
Hey, yeah, they are.
Well, you know, crystals, they sing. And they all have, I mean, they sing, even though they don't have vocal cords, doesn't mean they don't sing.
Yes.
They emit a frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Each crystal differently, but each crystal family has a similar frequency. And just as they emit frequencies, they also receive frequencies from people that are in need. So when you're putting out energy in the form of meditation or in prayer or even word sound power saying, I need help, I need to be more patient, these crystals will hear that and they'll use you as a transportation model.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
To get to the person they need to get to.
That's
They'll
right.
have you, you're like, why did I come over here? Why did I go here? I like this club now. And you go to that club with your crystal one night and the person that needs it, when it's already given this healing properties to you and switched your frequency and changed your frequency, and it'll find another person to help. That's what they do. They are living stones, like you said, Goddess. They are alive just like we are alive.
Yeah. Confirmation to that. Quick story. On my 10-year anniversary, I went to Hawaii. And so before I left, I had this iridescent amethyst crystal. Actually, no, it was just a amethyst crystal. And it was given to me by a friend of mine actually on my wedding day. And so I had it for 10 years. It sits in my studio. I play with it a lot. I exchange energy back and forth with it. And when I first got attuned to do Reiki, I came home immediately and started to exchange energy with the amethyst crystal. So on my 10-year anniversary, I went to Hawaii. And before I left, I heard the crystal go, take me, take me. I was like, okay. So I grabbed it. I grabbed that one and a couple of other crystals that I had. So we get to the hotel, and then like the next day we were going to go on the beach, but this beach was man-made. So it was a part of the resort. So it was sand and it was water, but we wasn't at the ocean. So before I left the room, the crystal goes, take me, take me. So I grab it. And then I'm laying on the sand, but I'm laying on a beach chair let out thingy on the sand, and the water is coming up to kind of meet us on the sand. So the crystal goes, take me out. So I reach in my purse and I take the crystal out, and then I set it down on the sand in the water so that the water can wash the crystal. And then so we're there for about an hour, and then I get up and leave, totally forgetting that I left my crystal. And when I say I didn't even think about it, it didn't even come back to my mind to pick it up again. And by the time I realized that it was out of my possession, it was like 10 o'clock late that night. And yeah, but I told my husband, like, we got to go back and get my crystal. And I was in the dark with my cell phone as a flashlight, looking for my crystal, like in the sand and in the water. And it was long gone. I was so heartbroken. And I was like, I've had this crystal for 10 years. And I called the friend that gave it to me. I was like, what happened? And he said, well, there is a goddess in Hawaii in the water that likes offerings, likes things. Maybe it was an offering to her, or maybe it was just someone else that needed it, and it was just done with you. 10 years, and it had everything that it needed. It was full of love and light for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it got away from me, and I was sad. But then I started to understand, like, okay, crystals, they definitely have a mind of their own, if you will. So that's my confirmation to that. So
I have a question for Amadisa. Amadisa, if you don't mind, real quick.
Sure.
It's real quick, and you may or not. If you can't see it clear, it's fine. I've had this crystal for years. Do you know what it is? It almost looks like a burnt marshmallow / something out the sea.
She says, "Oh my goodness."
No, I don't have any idea what that is. But oh my goodness,
I can't.
It's beautiful.
I got it, and I had the name, and I forgot it, and I have no idea. But it stays with me. I've moved. I've had it for like 6-7 years, so it must want to stay. But.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of masculine life force energy on it.
Yeah.
My whole right side is vibrating to it, and the right side of your body is the masculine side of your body. What an adorable little guy.
Yeah, I thought I might share that on the crystal segment. All right, I'm done. Thanks.
Wow.
And then we'll bring.
That's power. It zapped me all the way over here.
Hello, you guys. It's me, Amira the songstress, and you've been tuned into 2020 Vision. I'd like to thank you guys for chiming in with us. I love all your support. But remember, subscribe and also ring that bell so that you can get notifications when we upload a new video. And remember, stay focused like 2020 Vision.